Hello everybody, hope you're doing really well. You find me starting this video in the car yet again, and there's very good reason for that. That's right, I forgot my wind muffing again for my camera, and it is surprisingly windy out there. So I'm having to start the intro here, and I'll just give you a history lesson whilst we're here as well. So a long time ago, I probably mentioned actually in a Q&A video, it might have been Q&A 1, where I was sort of saying that for the past 10 years really, it had been a sort of effort to try and just figure out where lots of the tunnels and secret places that not many people know about in the Gravesham area are. Greenhive, Northfleet, Swanscombe and Gravesend. And although I've not done all of them, because there's not actually that many left actually, to be fair. I mean, there's a couple of obvious ones that I still need to do. We're left with two today that we're going to cover on the same line as a video that I've already made. So whether that gets put out before this, I'm hoping I'm going to try and put that one out before. And that'll be where I talk about Swanscombe and the tram tunnel, and the fact that in the very vicinity, in fact, these are the outer ones. If you head in towards sort of Swanscombe Northfleet area, then you really get, literally where I am, where I am at the moment is probably, because I've just parked up by the way, there are probably about 20 to 30 tunnels within the vicinity, and about a third of those are technically accessible. That doesn't mean breaking in, by the way. It just means that some of them are more difficult to get into than others, not through breaking in. You know what I mean? I don't know why I have to clarify that. I mean, you know what my channel's about anyway. So yeah, today we're going to look at two of the more modern quarry tunnels that were in the vicinity. But they're still just as historically important. Now, the reason why they're historically important is because it follows the original tram line or tramway of the quarries intersecting each other. So what I mean by that is you've got a series of quarry pits in which this tramway was interlinking within those, and the whole area is basically just a wealth of industry, which again I've probably covered before. So yeah, these two are interesting because there was definitely one pre-existing, I want to say there was two. There's definitely one, so we'll just say two, and I'm sure if I'm wrong, but there's definitely one where these aren't the original tunnels necessarily that were there. In fact, actually, there was an original tunnel that came underneath, a little bit further on from where it was, on the same trajectory, and that's pretty much it. So, yeah, apart from that, all good, really. The other thing is that, obviously, like I said to you before, I don't break in, and it's just been a project of mine to finally document these. I've finally got the chance to do it, and like I said, you know, there's a lot of building going on right now, and I wouldn't be surprised that when we go down there, we will see graffiti, or locals have been down there. If I don't see any graffiti, then that will be even more interesting. But it's the opportunity right now that I've got to do it, because they're probably going to be in the best condition you're going to see them. And even though they're concrete quarry tunnels, they're still an important piece of history because they interlink with the original tram network that was all around here, if that makes sense to all of you. So I think I've given you enough history. Obviously, the original whole Swanscombe area was in Victorian times, so we're sort of talking 1800s, although it can predate that to a certain degree on certain sections. So that's your history without giving too much away, because obviously I don't really want to give away the actual location of these, for obviously safety concerns as well, and obviously the sheer fact that, you know, they are just, the area itself is just not the most easily accessible area to get to these, and it's just that thing of, like I said, I'm a history channel. This is for historical documentation only, as you well know, and it's just good to finally get these two out of the way, and then we can maybe focus on a later date, because to be fair, I'm pretty much done with the area at the moment as it stands. Most of them are now blocked up, but I've mentioned in the Swanscombe one previously that obviously which is such an incredible tram tunnel. If you've seen it or not, I don't know whether this is going to, if it gets, what I might do is I might put the link in below for that one. But like I said before, it's been an obsession of mine for over a decade to try and sort of you know, not only just tick them off, but actually just to picture them, to put them in documentation. Some of them that I've done weren't labelled on the channel as what they are because I wanted to keep them relatively secret. So in other words, there are tunnels that are around this area that I've done, but I've not said where they are, but they're on the channel. And then there's a lot where I've just taken photos and they're at home, and yeah, I've just made notes, etc, etc. So yeah, I'm pretty much getting to the end of them now, but it's been over 10 years of just intermittently doing them. And these two, although not the most spectacular ones you're ever going to see, still pretty cool. And let's go. Okay, so yeah, come on, I've chatted enough. Bye. Right, let's go and have a look. They're literally working at the opposite side, so I won't say anything really, I'll keep quiet. Come on. so I'm still having to be relatively quiet. Again, I reiterate, I didn't break in, and these are really the last two tunnels, except for the main tram tunnel that is in this Swanscombe Green Hive area, because we're technically, I suppose, in Green Hive / Swanscombe. But obviously I know I'm not the first person to do these, I'm not the last, but however, I will say it one more time, didn't break in, and this is purely for documentation. So like I said, what you're seeing are the later sort of tunnels really that are here, and they're really the last two major ones before really you're sort of going to blue water, or you're in this sort of almost in the blue water pit. Oh, let's rank up. So historically these are incredible really, and the future for these remains very much uncertain. Now at some point there was also again, I've mentioned this in a few tunnel areas before, there were a few more. There we go. There were a few more tunnels in the area which are now blocked off. When we're talking a lot of tunnels around this area, and yeah, I'm walking. Can you believe it? Walking along a service pipe. There's a couple of service pipes here. Oh wow. Huh. I genuinely actually thought at one point that was actually a moped complete, but it's not. Somebody's nicked that and trashed it. Yeah, this place has seen a lot of history. I think it's that opportunity for people to come down here whilst the redevelopment's going on. That was always my idea, to come back and do it when there was an opportunity to do it. However, there was a lot of security here today, literally within the vicinity, because they're still building. So I'm having to be relatively careful. Also up there, you know, depends what your thoughts are on this, but you could easily just, I suppose, just get a bit panicked and start screaming down, going, get out there, whatever. But it's alright, like I said, show full respect. This is just for documentation, but these are the concrete, like I said, tunnels that are here for the quarrying. As we carry on, you'll note that that was one that I've either done, or, well, I've done it as a recording this, but whether I put it out beforehand or not, which was the best tram tunnel I think you can see within the area, and probably the most significant. Right, let's have a walk through. So, you can see there's lots of graffiti again. Again, it's a locals tunnel. 13th for the 7th, 1990. There's a 93 there as well. I'd like to think that more people have done it in recent years, but there's a 91 there. That's interesting. I don't know if you can see that. There's an 02 there. I mean, up until probably the past couple of years, these were relatively open for access, really. But it was in recent years that they've done redevelopment, that they've completely cleared it out and reopened it, because they were using these tunnels, interestingly enough, bit of modern history, for building, extending the estates that are down here. And yeah, so now I'm looking back. The reason why I'm looking back is because through that tunnel, that would be, if there was going to be security to tell me off, they would be coming through that way. Like I said, I've done extensive research in this area. And I don't like going into too much detail because obviously, like I said, I don't like to encourage too many people to come down here because, you know, you've got to take responsibility for a certain thing. But yeah, known about these for a very, very long time, and we're talking over a decade. But actually to get to document them finally, there's a 2020 there, then that'll probably tie in with when they just about opened up the section of tunnel, 2011. Okay, we're getting more modern on this side. Interesting, on the far end, that's 1990 section. You come here to the more recent, it's 2009. Lots of wildlife have been here. Good job on wearing my boots because it's very muddy. Well, good old quarry tunnels. Just amazing, aren't they? You can see where the gates would have been locked at some point. Completely smashed these ones. That would have taken some force. I wonder if that was when they'd redone it. Amazing. Well, I think we should carry on a little bit because there used to be a couple of tunnels that were here as well back in the day, and it'd be nice if they were still here, although I can't imagine it. I'm pretty sure in fact that they're probably blocked off, but there were a couple more here. So yeah, well, that's the main purpose of today. We've documented the two last remaining quarry tunnels. I suppose probably to get into the secondary quarry before Blue Water, and they've moved on the extension all down there, so just to document these as tunnels is still fascinating. They're concrete ones, and whatever their future holds. Now, I was told that they're either going to get blocked up, completely fenced off again, or that there's a chance that they, because it's going over a prominent path, that obviously they just might just get completely blocked off, or they might be left in this state. Although from a good resource, it's possible they're just going to probably lock these back up again, but do a proper good job of it, like at the far end. So who knows? But just to document these is pretty good. So let's just carry on a little bit further down, and yeah, that'll be it. So yeah, look, these are the original fences for the posts that were here. Very interesting. Amazing bit of history. Right, so I'm basically following the tram line out now, and yeah, it's been really cool just to sort of follow it pretty much straight, really, and to document the final last two quarry tunnels that we can explore, and to sort of note that the unfortunate nature of the ones that have disappeared they've truly disappeared. But to actually come here and find that out, well, better to do it than not, isn't it? So let's get out of here. Come on. So as I depart from this place, to finally say I got to document the other quarry tunnels that are slightly more modern than some of them around here, but we've done it. Even though, like I said, there's loads and loads that are around here, and these ones weren't necessarily my special ones. They're still important because they're a part of this area's history. So, in the immortal words of Phoenix history, thank you so much for watching. Stay safe. Please spread the word of the channel if you can. And yeah, love to all of you. Take care. Ready? Cut out.